Hearing loss. There are many myths about hearing loss, and most of them are just that, myths. Here are some examples. I am too young for hearing loss. There are millions of people, young and old, with hearing loss today. No one is too young for hearing loss. You may also hear your hearing is normal for your age. Remember, you either have normal hearing or you have hearing loss. There is no such thing as normal hearing for your age. If I had hearing loss, my family doctor would have diagnosed it. Ask yourself these questions. Did you get a hearing screening during your physical exam? Have you had a formal hearing assessment at your physician's office? Only 10% of family physicians screen for hearing loss in the United States today. So your family doctor may not have tried to diagnose your hearing loss if you had no complaints of a problem in the past. There isn't anything that can be done for my hearing. Many people have been told this by physicians, and this may have been true years ago. But with advances in technology and diagnosis, 95% of sensory neural hearing loss can be helped. If everyone would just speak clearly, I would be fine. This is a common statement from people with hearing loss. People with untreated hearing loss also say that people get angry with me, usually for no reason. Hearing loss usually occurs over time and is not always noticeable by the person suffering from it. It is very common for people to blame others in the first stages of hearing loss. Pay attention to see if other people can understand your family and friends without difficulty. If this is true, take the time to get a hearing assessment. Hearing aids will make me look old. When people think of hearing aids, they immediately think of their grandparents with huge medical devices hanging from their ear, whistling all the time. Advancements in technology have made hearing aids virtually invisible to others, and the technology has also taken care of that annoying whistling you used to hear as well. The truth is that a hearing loss is more noticeable than a hearing aid, and when you misunderstand someone, they don't immediately think you have a hearing loss. They think you're being rude or are getting up there in age where your brain isn't working like it should. So remember, a hearing loss is more noticeable than a hearing aid. Hearing loss is the third most prevalent chronic condition, behind heart disease and high blood pressure. People with hearing loss are often embarrassed because they think that they are different or that they have a rare condition. According to the Better Hearing Institute, there is an estimated 31.5 million people that report hearing problems in the United States. That is 10% of the U.S. population. So if you have a hearing loss or think you might, you're not alone. The number of people with hearing loss by age is provided in the graph above. Here are some interesting statistics. 3 in 10 people over age 60 have hearing loss. 1 in 6 people ages 41 through 59, or 14.6%, have a hearing problem. 1 in 14 people ages 29 through 40, or 7.4%, already have hearing loss. At least 1.4 million children, 18 or younger, have hearing problems. Helen Keller understood how great the impact of hearing loss is. She summed it up when she said, "Hearing is the soul of knowledge and information of a high order. To be cut off from hearing is to be isolated indeed." Most people think that hearing loss is due to the aging process. While many times this is true, the impact of work-related and recreational noise has caused hearing loss to occur at younger ages. People ages 50 to 65 in particular have been affected by their exposure to noise. Their hearing loss can be attributed in some part to the fact that they grew up listening to loud music amplified by headphones, amplifiers, and speakers. Certain medications, diseases, as well as head trauma can also cause hearing loss. Let's review the 4 different types of hearing loss that can be diagnosed, and what happens to the ear and its ability to function. There are 4 types of hearing loss: conductive, sensory neural, mixed, and central. Each involves a different part of the human ear. Conductive hearing loss occurs when there is a problem with the outer or middle ear. There can be too much wax or something else blocking the ear canal. When the ear canal is blocked, sound is unable to be funneled to the eardrum. The eardrum can develop holes from a foreign object or disease. If the eardrum does not vibrate, then sound cannot travel to the bones of the middle ear. The bones of the middle ear can also cause a conductive hearing loss if they are damaged. The bones can come apart or can also harden where they cannot move. If the bones of the middle ear do not function correctly, Sound cannot continue on to the cochlea. Conductive hearing losses are usually temporary types of hearing loss that can be treated with medication and on very rare occasions with surgery. Sensory neural hearing loss occurs when there is a problem with the cochlea or the hearing nerve of the ear. Inside the fluid-filled cochlea are tiny hair cells that can become damaged. They are damaged by the aging process, loud noises, or disease. There is no surgery that can fix sensory neural hearing loss. Once the hair cells are damaged or gone, they cannot be repaired. Sensory neural hearing loss is a permanent type of hearing loss, and the only treatment is hearing aids or assistive listening devices. Mixed hearing loss is a combination of conductive and sensory neural hearing loss. This type of hearing loss can be treated with a combination of medication, surgery, and hearing aids. Central hearing loss involves the areas of the brain responsible for speech understanding. How do you get diagnosed for hearing loss? Let's review the process. Untreated hearing loss is like any other medical condition. The more quickly you deal with it, the better it is over time. There was a survey of over 2,300 hearing-impaired adults age 50 and older that found that those with untreated hearing loss were more likely to report depression, anxiety, and paranoia, and were less likely to participate in organized social activities compared to those who wear hearing aids. The study also interviewed friends and family members of those with hearing loss, asking them similar questions, finding similar results. In other words, people with hearing loss that do not wear hearing aids have a lower quality of life. Dr. James Furman, President and CEO of the National Council on the Aging, commented, "The study debunks the myth that hearing loss is a harmless condition." A recent study completed this year by Sergei Kochkin of the Better Hearing Institute reports decreased earning ability as a consequence of hearing loss. Let's take a closer look at what that means to you. Take a look at the results of a landmark study by the Better Hearing Institute this year that shows that untreated hearing loss is strongly associated with income loss. The Better Hearing Institute estimates that untreated hearing loss may be causing people to lose over $100 billion of earnings annually in the United States. The study found that working people with hearing loss who wear hearing aids earn more on the average than an equally matched group of people with hearing loss who did not use hearing aids. In the workplace, good communication skills are essential, particularly when it comes to understanding what customers, clients, and coworkers want and need. Very interesting survey. Now that's not to say that money is the most important thing, but did you ever notice that money does seem to affect everything that is important? Just another reason to get a hearing assessment to see at least if you have a hearing loss.